We're at the theater at Madison Square Garden for HBO's Boxing After Dark, a featherweight doubleheader as we get set for our main event. Steven Luevano taking on Juan Manuel Lopez. And we're joined here at ringside once again by Max Kellerman. All right, Max, we're getting set for the main event of the evening. Now, Juan Manuel Lopez is moving up from 122 to 126 pounds. He wants to win belts in a lot of different weight classes. Obviously, outside of winning this fight, what's his objective here?
Right, well, first of all, this night is supposed to set up Juan Manuel Lopez and Yuriorkis Gamboa. So as you mentioned, he's in with a good fighter. He's got to win. But more than that, I think if you would have taken a poll of boxing insiders before Lopez fought Mtagwa, and you would have asked them, of all the young up-and-coming fighters, who's most likely to one day be considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, I think Lopez would have won that poll before the Mtagwa fight. I don't think he'd win that poll now. And so in the court of public opinion, he should not only win tonight, but do himself a favor and look good doing it, especially considering the way Gamboa just looked whipping the guy that Lopez struggled so mightily against last time out. Yes, Mtagwa was just right for Gamboa, but people have a tendency to remember the performance in your last fight. And heading into the Gamboa fight, should he win tonight, this will be the performance that Lopez has in his last fight.
Well, it's interesting. It's almost like in golf, putting up a score, and Gamboa's put up a 66, and now he's saying to Lopez, can you put up a 65 tonight? Lennox Lewis, the opponent tonight is Steven Luevano, but he's the belt holder in the featherweight division, taking on Lopez. He's a young man that has 37 wins. He's made 5 defenses of his belt, but he doesn't feel he gets the respect that he deserves. Does he necessarily have the temperament to command that respect?
Well, you know, the thing about respect, you have to earn it. And the way how he's going to have to earn it, he has to beat a top-ranked fighter. And this is his chance to do that. He wants that respect. He has to go out there and take it. Does he have that burning fire and desire? Well, this is a question I want to know tonight.
Well, we're going to find out tonight in our main event here from the theater in New York City, Madison Square Garden. As we take a look at the tail of the tape, Steven Luevano, 28 years of age. Juan Manuel Lopez, 26 years of age. Slight arm length advantage to Luevano. Weight 126 pounds, Lopez at 125 and a half. No issues for either fighter making the 126 pounds. Time for the rules with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Steven Luevano Juan Manuel Lopez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Division. There is no 3-knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Bob!
Juan Manuel Lopez getting set to come into the ring. Lennox, he says that the moving up in weight, he was struggling to make 122 pounds in his last 3 fights. He feels that now that he doesn't have to sweat out the weight, he's going to be even a better fighter. What are your thoughts on him moving up to 126?
I think you have to go into the weight that you're comfortable in. It doesn't make sense that you're struggling to make a weight and then you have to fight for 12 rounds because you're at a disadvantage. Now he's going into a fight, perfect weight, feels comfortable, can eat what he wants, and this is what you need. This is the mark of a champion. This is the mark for making you win a fight.
26 years of age from Puerto Rico. Obviously a strong following here in New York City for Juan Manuel Lopez, 27-0 with 24 knockouts. And Max, you know, when you take a look at a guy like Juan Manuel Lopez, this is a guy that caught the eye of everybody in the sport because of his dynamic ability. We're going to take a look at a montage of some different fights and the brilliance that Lopez brought to the ring.
I think people were and still are so high on him because of all the young undefeated prospects in boxing with real athleticism, hand speed, and punching power. He seemed to have the best offensive technique. And he was a solid, well-rounded fighter. He threw short, accurate combinations on the inside with real power, and then he's a southpaw to boot, making him even more awkward to fight.
In his last fight, you know, you saw the brilliance that he had early in the fight and what he was able to do against a guy like Mtagwa.
And I find his claim that he was drained by the weight to be credible because early on he was boxing very well, and as the fight wore on, clearly ran out of steam. But the upside was he had the chance to show what he was made of. He obviously has a lot of heart, weathering that 12th round storm.
And there is Steven Luevano from La Puente, California. 37 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 15 knockouts. He's the belt holder, and he's a guy that kind of does it in a simple way, Lennox. He wants to use his jab and kind of make it an ordinary type of fight. Is that enough to deal with a guy like Lopez?
Well, you know, you have to come into the ring with a lot more weapons than a right jab. I asked him about his hook, his uppercuts, and these are the things that he has to throw. He has to have a repertoire of different punches to throw against Lopez, because Lopez is no slouch.
So Steven Luevano puts his belt on the line against Juan Manuel Lopez in what will be a very pro-Lopez crowd, despite the fact that Luevano is the belt holder, fighting here in New York City against the Puerto Rican Lopez here at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York. We are set for tonight's main event. For the formal introductions, once again to the ring, and Michael Buffer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin for our main event, at this time it is my sad duty to memorialize one of the fraternity of boxing who has just recently passed away. He was a man who was humble and had great dignity. He dedicated most of his life to keeping young men off the streets and in the gym, and he molded many great fighters in Puerto Rico. At this time, would everyone please remain silent as we toll a memorial 10 count, for one of us is no longer here, Miguel Angel Cotto Sr. Rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, from the theater, Madison Square Garden, New York City, USA, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Carácter. The event, Pacquiao versus Clottey. Live from Cowboys Stadium, Dallas, Texas on HBO pay-per-view March 13th. And the Clinton Bush Haiti Fund. Starting tonight, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated will donate $1 from every ticket sold to every Top Rank event for the entire year of 2010. Do your part. Go to the ClintonBushHaitiFund.org or an official Haiti relief fund of your choice. This bout is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission Chairperson Melvina Lathan, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring: Dan Ackerman, Julie Letterman, and John Stewart. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Benji Estevez. And now, for the thousands in attendance here at Madison Square Garden and the millions watching around the world on HBO Boxing After Dark, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, official weight 125 1/2 pounds. A perfect professional record. 27 fights, 27 victories, including 24 knockouts. From Caguas, Puerto Rico, tonight he's the challenger, and he's the current WBO Junior featherweight champion of the world, the undefeated Juanma